Hello and welcome back to Teacher Tom's Tutorials. Today's lesson is on small groups, and I aim to make this video a little bit more brief than the others. A small group, Edmodo style, is a subset of a larger group. So as you can see here, I've got, say, my 5th hour class, and I have 3 small groups that they have been put into. I have that for each of my other classes as well. But one thing about Edmodo's groups, you can't take a student who might be in, say, your 5th hour and put them into a group with a student who's in another class, like a 4th hour class. You can't do that. You can only put groups together, small groups together from within a larger group. However, there is a way you can kind of cheat around that. Let's say you wanted to have students work together who are not in the same hour. You could very simply create a new larger group, call that, all students, or whatever it is you'd want to call that. Let's go with multiple grade range. Let's go large here. Let's just say 1st through 8th grade, and all area, and call it good. You've just now created a new group called all students. You would then maybe post that code and just let them all join. It might take you a day or so. Let them all join, and then you've got your individual classes are still set, your individual groups, plus you've got that other group that could be used strictly for maybe making making small groups happen out of that, and some cross-curricular stuff. But anyway, let's go into my 5th hour class, and let's go ahead and create a new small group. It's very, very simple. You go up and click the small group button, and you click new small group. You give that small group a name, and voila, there you go. It's very, very simple. Adding students to that group is pretty easy. You simply click on the group that you are now working with. Anyone that's a teacher or a co-teacher is already automatically added to that group. And then on your right side, you'll have several students, all the students that are in that particular larger group, and you just click and drag. Click and drag the ones that you want to be in that group. And you can, if you make a mistake, you can always get rid of one at any point. And then any kid that you drag in there is automatically put into that new group. Let's go back to the 5th hour. And then what can you do with that? If I click on to that small group, there's no messages, there's no notes there, but you can go ahead and operate here just like you can with the larger groups. Let's take a look at an active small group I have, just for maybe an example idea. So let's go ahead and click on that 5th hour group that I have. You'll see this post I sent to that 5th hour group. In this particular case, it's called Harry. So only students who are that I've put into that small group will see this post. And I made an assignment for them that they had to react to. And this one they had to learn about drip irrigation, and then a solar irrigation study done by Stanford to help in food production in Africa. It was really kind of a neat assignment. And then the students were tasked to sort of have a group conversation about what they had learned. And you can see down here I had several replies, and it's a neat little conversation that they had amongst themselves, bouncing back and forth within the group. I can watch that conversation occur. I can always go back and check it later, and every once in a while I'll interject my voice in to maybe direct them or to help them in a certain way. One thing that's kind of neat here is I had a particular student who was across the country, a couple thousand miles away, and he participated in the group activity as if he were here. So you can imagine how that might help with students who are sick or absent for any other given reason. One other thing that you might want to understand is that using the small groups is a great way to differentiate. So maybe you've got sort of an A and a B and a C group. You can type up an assignment and send it to any group that you want. So in this case, maybe I have that group selected, but I can also choose another group from a different hour and send that identical assignment, and then maybe I'd make a second assignment and send it to the B groups, or a third assignment and send it to the C groups. So it's a neat way to sort of separate assignments and hit different groups of kids with different activities. I think that might be all I wanted to show. Oh, I guess one more thing. When you're done with your groups, you can delete them at any point. You actually need to go to the small groups button again, and there it is. And then there's the groups listed, and I want to delete this one because I don't really want it. Delete. Gone. It doesn't delete the kids from the larger class. It just deletes that group and anything that was involved with that group. If you wanted to archive a group, you could do that just as easily by clicking on this button and then clicking on archive. Then the group will disappear, but it won't be deleted. You could always go back and reactivate that group or go back and see what kids in that group were having or had to say for you. And as I said, it's a short one, so we're done. Thanks for joining.